Feeling slow, feeling lazy, feeling burnt out, run down, feeling like you just can't do anything, feeling like you're standing still? Well, that's what we're going to chat about today. Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I'm your host, Mark Hendrickson, and what you can expect if you're brand new to this podcast is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health, self-development, and how to get your life moving in the right direction. Even if you feel like right now you're not where you want to be in your life, having the confidence knowing, okay, you're taking 1 step, 2 steps, or 10 steps in the right direction today. If you are not new to this podcast, if you're a returning listener, returning viewer, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast version of this, then thank you for coming back and supporting the show, supporting the movement, and supporting the idea that every single day we should be strengthening ourselves, making ourselves at least 1% better, and along the way, lifting others up as well. And so whether you're brand new to this podcast or not, if you're returning or not, just remember that if you're listening to this, that you are the reason that I do what I do. Yes, you. And so I like to start off a lot of my podcasts with this because it's a good reminder for me. It's a good reminder for you. I'm going to take a sip of my water right now and just get myself in the mindset of kind of feeling good, feeling productive. And I invite you, I implore you to take a little sip of something right now. Take a sip of water, take a sip of coffee, take a sip of fresh air if you got nothing else in front of you. And just take a second to breathe and to get focused, and let's do this together right now. Oh, that's good, especially as the weather gets hotter here for the summertime. It's good to remember to drink some water. It's good to remember to stay hydrated. It's good to not be a little dehydrated, little dry sponge, but to fill yourself up with some good water and some good thoughts, some good energy. And so sometimes, even just this afternoon, I feel myself kind of feeling stagnant, feeling like I'm lazy, feeling like I'm tired. You know, it's mid-afternoon. I worked a full day of construction. I'm kind of just hanging out here. I was sitting down and editing, and I went for a walk earlier, but I really just was feeling like I needed to take a nap before I went to the gym and did some training. And I felt really lazy and felt really run down. And so one of the things I did was I got up, I took a cold shower, not something I do very often, but I was just really hot and sweaty and kind of feeling gross. And so I jumped in the shower, took a little rinse off there, and then, I noticed in my office here I had a couple of dirty dishes. I had my dishes from work, like my coffee mug and my lunch container and everything like that, still in the sink. And I thought, all right, I just had a shower. Let's get rid of these dirty dishes, and threw them in the dishwasher there and started up the dishwasher. And then I got my stuff ready to go to jiu-jitsu in a little bit, and I just realized that's it. That's the key. And that's why I wanted to record this episode right now, because that is one of the keys to getting started, feeling like you could start doing things, for lack of a better term. And I've realized, so many times that every single person, a lot of people say they're like, oh, I'm not disciplined. I have no accountability. I'm not responsible. I'm not disciplined. And that's kind of the best way I can say it. And I realized that so many of us are disciplined. We just choose what we are going to be disciplined to. And sometimes we make that as a conscious decision, and sometimes we don't. And what I mean by that is every single one of us has a routine. We all have, a weekly routine, whether we go and hang out with the boys, hang out with the girls every single weekend. Maybe we have a date night. Maybe we have the routine of looking at Instagram or scrolling through there, or maybe watching YouTube videos or watching Netflix, or have our routine of like where we go and get our favorite fast food. Every single one of us has a routine of some sort, and we stay pretty disciplined to that routine. If you actually sit down and think about your thoughts, your behaviors, and the patterns that correlate with those things. And, you really just choose what you're addicted to and what your routine is and what you're actually truly disciplined to. And if you think about your ideal self, you think about who you want to be in the future and how that compares to who you are right now, you really have to think about the habits of what that person would do and what habits or behaviors might get you closer to being that ideal person in the first place. And once you plan all that out, that's all well and good, but you think, okay, I'll start tomorrow. Or I just really don't feel like it right now. Maybe I need a nap. Maybe I need a chill. Maybe I want to have one more kick at the can of watching my fucking favorite shows on Netflix or YouTube or whatever. And you get to this weird, standby of just kind of waiting, feeling like, okay, I don't really feel like I have the energy to do anything. I really wish I was more fit, but I don't really feel like working out right now. One of the things that I think is the best way to get us moving in the right direction, and this is something that kind of, I think I might have talked about this before on the podcast probably, but it's one of those things that I've kind of overlooked recently, is just building momentum and how you can build momentum. There's a couple of different ways to start building momentum, and one of the ways that I, think that building momentum happens is the way that I was just speaking about earlier, what I experienced earlier today, which is just getting in motion, getting to do things that are most productive, or get you in a productive mind state. This could be anything from like just getting up and folding those clothes that you have fucking sitting on a chair in your room right now, getting rid of those dirty dishes that are piled up in your fucking sink, maybe sorting through your mail or your receipts and doing a little bit of paperwork that you've been fucking neglecting, or maybe just going for a walk. A lot of the times I feel like even just waking up early is one of the ways that I can build a lot of momentum in my day, because when I wake up early, I want to use that time wisely. So I usually get in a workout or I do something productive, and then that productive task leads me into doing another productive task, and then continuously throughout my day until I've had a productive day that I can feel good about. But what about when you're wanting to start a new hobby, a new fitness routine, a new behavior that you've never taken, part in before in your life? One of the best ways to build momentum, if that's the case, if you've never worked out before and you want to get started, or maybe you've done something in the past and you didn't see results and you felt discouraged, and you maybe want to revisit it because doing what you're doing right now is getting you the results that you have right now, and you're not really satisfied with that either. So you want to start something new again. One of the best ways to start building momentum that way is to start small. Start doing the easiest possible barrier to entry, the path of least resistance into the right direction you possibly can do. And so say you want to, start moving more. You just want to start exercising more. And exercising for an hour and a half a day or something like that just sounds egregious. Start small with the most minuscule way you can get into this thing. Maybe it's walking for 5 minutes a day if you're extremely sedentary. And then doing that every single day. Just finding the energy. Okay, I don't have the energy to lift weights for an hour and fucking half right now, but I can find the energy. I can dig deep and find the energy to go for a walk outside for 5 minutes. And if you just commit to doing that every single day, eventually it'll become so easy that you'll want to do more, and you'll challenge yourself to maybe do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it could be. And eventually the duration itself won't even feel like a challenge. So you're going to start upping the intensity. Maybe I'm going to jog. Maybe I'm going to run. Maybe I'm going to bike. Maybe I'm going to challenge myself to see how far I can run compared to my friend who's just starting with me as well. Maybe you want to start another task like reading, and you like, oh, I want to read all these big books because I want a big brain. But I just suck at reading. I'm super slow. I can't focus, whatever it could be. Start yourself off with the task of just reading 1 page a fucking day. 1 page a day. Commit to yourself. I can read 1 page a day. Every single day at 6 p.m., I'm going to read 1 page. And it's going to take me fucking 20 minutes if it has to. But eventually, it's not going to take you 20 minutes to read a whole page in a book. And you're going to start to challenge yourself. You're going to say, I kind of like the feeling of sticking to this thing. Now I'm going to read 2 pages. Now I'm going to read 5 pages. Now I'm going to read 10 pages. Now I'm going to read a chapter. I think that this kind of basically can work with any single thing that you can think of. A lot of people, they kind of sell themselves short, or they think they're all or nothing type of people. And I think that I've been like that so many times in the past as well, where it's like, okay, if I can't do the full workout to the full intensity for the full duration of the time that I want to do it, it's not worth doing at all. I don't half-ass anything. I don't want to half-ass anything. And I think that by giving ourselves excuses like this, we allow ourselves to delay the behaviors that are going to get us even partial results, because partial results are better than no results whatsoever. And I think that a lot of people do this in so many different ways of their life because, like I said, they feel like, oh, if I'm not able to do 110% of what I want to do, I'm not even going to bother doing it at all. And I think that this comes from a fear of failure, a fear of, I'm not going to get all the results that I want. But you really have to ask yourself and dig deep when you ask yourself this question isn't it more worth it to get partial results than no results at all? And can't you build on those partial results until you get all the results you're looking for? This is one of the questions that I had to ask myself when I started this podcast even. And so if I were to recommend one thing today, it is to build momentum for yourself. Do the smallest amount of thing that you can get done to move yourself closer to the goal that you're wanting to do. Because once you achieve the smallest amount of progress, it'll become addictive. You'll become disciplined to that new behavior, and you will get all the results you're looking for if that actually is what you're looking for. So I wanted to read this little quote from Epictetus. You guys know I love my Stoic philosophy. So he says, "Now is the time to get serious about living your ideals. How long can you afford to put off who you really want to be? Your nobler self cannot wait any longer. Put your principles into practice now. Stop using the excuses and the procrastination. This is your life. Decide to be extraordinary and do what you need to do now." And I don't think that there's any other way to say that more perfectly and more elegantly. I think that pretty much summarizes exactly what I wanted to kind of say in this short little episode. It's Monday today. We are charging into this week. And I just hope that this is a good reminder for yourself and maybe for somebody else as well. If you want to share this content with somebody else that maybe needs to hear a message like this, or anybody that's like-minded with you that thinks the way you do or ingest the same content that you ingest, please share this with them. It really does mean the world to me. It helps grow the message and grow the community and grow the platform as well. And so if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, make sure you leave a review, rate it 5 stars. And other than that, I will catch you guys on Thursday. Much love and peace out, you beautiful fucking human beings. Bye.